Thank you. It's my pleasure to be a data economy advisor in this marvelous startup and a growth story. Briefly, my background is in the startup world. I've been involved in building several startups from bottom to the rocket speed growth, and also doing it all the time whenever possible. As Marjukka mentioned, I've been involved in the API economy world as well, co-developing the API ops cycles method and other things, among other things. And my previous interest was, or how to say, passion was in the developer experience APIs. And after that, I got involved in the data economy, and then I'm combining now the APIs and data products as a package in the data economy world, and currently acting also as a COO in one company focused on data platform economy as well. But now combining data and company involvement and company transformation. Yeah, you can put on the next slide. Basically, I took here five elements of transformation or digitalization, however you want to call it. It's always about changing the company for a better future, for better growth, better success, better personal growth, and so on. So there's five pillars of the change, and C-level commitment, capital, capability, culture, and change management. When people say data economy, it's always the first impression is that, well, you're talking about selling the data. Well, yeah, at some point, yes, but that's not the only part. So monetizing the data and commercializing the data, those are the terms used. It happens inside the company. It happens between you and your partners. And then the last option is that you actually sell your data in some kind of data platform or some other way. So it's not only about selling your data, and that's what people often mix or forget. So, and we've been doing monetizing the data for a long time already, but now we're starting to find a different kind of vocabulary for it, and the names for it, and terms for it. And the data product concept is something that's emerging now, but it's not the mainstream at the moment. So data and changing the culture and the company path forward. Let's go and look at the five items in more details. So next one. Yes, C-level commitment. So whenever a company starts to make a digitalization path or changing and transforming the company, it doesn't make any sense if you don't have a C-level commitment. If your CEO, CIO, CTO, if everyone is not committed to the change, it will never happen. Obvious reasons: you need to show the path. You need to show the vision. You need to be behind your words, and there's always the data point also in the C-level commitment. And one way to do is that you actually combine some kind of bonus programs, whatever you have in your company. And normally your CEO, CXO level people have bonuses. They are tied to the company success by the bonus program. So if you bind these kind of activities and transformation into the bonus program, and then you measure it and see how well you are reaching the goals, then you are actually analyzing the data, and then you're using data, and you can show that is your CXOs committed or not, for example, or are we actually going to the right direction also in their opinion and by their activities as well. So all the targets has to be aligned with the transformation, whatever is decided to be done. And you need to be always monitoring your progress and how those activities are aligned to each other. That's basically it. So the next pillar is basically the next slide. Yeah, capital. So now that you have the commitment also in the high level in the company, so everyone knows that we are allowed to go into the unknown, we are allowed to change, then you of course need to have some kind of capital. You need to have funds. It doesn't happen out of the blue, out of the box without any kind of resources. So this is something you need to reserve funds for the digitalization road, which might take some years for some companies. So it's not a small thing to decide to take, and you need to have a significant amount of capital for it as well. And yes, you can say that if you don't have the capital, it's only a vision, and that's it. It's not gonna be a reality at any way. So you need to have the money for it. But once you have the money for it, of course you are interested about the burn rate. How fast are you burning the reserve capital? Then you probably want to or explore the possibility of monetizing your data, so bringing in more data and bringing more capital in the process as well. And of course, you want to do some kind of business simulations to see how, for example, some efforts that we do would actually what kind of effects it would have in the burn rate or in data coming in and money coming in and so on, how our decisions actually affect our monetary resources. So again, use the data and make wise decisions, data-driven decisions instead of relying on your gut. The next one, third pillar, basically is capability. And often this is about people. It's not always about people, but it's mostly about the people. So you need to possibly train some people to new roles or even hire new people, and often the good way is to offer people capabilities and opportunities to actually change their own skill set. So offering them a way to grow professionally, and the modern way of learning is going to be online anyway, and that kind of a tool set is already included in the Techie stories. So that's a marvelous tool to use. And sometimes you need to get some hired guns to do some kind of kickstarting or helping to some over some kind of small steps that it doesn't make any sense to hire people, but you just want to have some help. And of course you need to measure everything again. So are you actually what is the velocity of our development, for example? How is the sales actually going, and what's the effect of doing this and that, and that's basically what most of the CDOs are in the companies interested about. How are we actually performing and in development and product development, and also the salespeople. But remember that it's about people, and people matter the most, at least to me, and a lot of companies as well. So regardless of your role, always take care of your personnel, because a good team can actually make a suck idea to be a big, good product, but a lousy team and unmotivated team will actually ruin even the best ideas. So, and the fourth step and the fourth pillar of the transformation is related also to the people. So you need to support the culture of innovation. You need to enable people to make mistakes. You need to allow them to make mistakes. You need to, instead of having a culture of fear, you need to have a culture of innovation, which actually is liberating. It's a free, an open air environment to actually operate in, and you actually listen to the ideas, and you have a method to collect the ideas of people acting in your business and your company, and you have a process to actually test them out, whatever the ideas are, if you are considering an idea a good one to test it for. So, and as I said, accept the failures and learn from them. And well, this is one of the biggest cornerstones of any kind of startups even. So try and fail fast, and then learn from it and clean up and go on. And so don't get stuck, but try to get your ideas tested as fast as possible. And now again, you need to measure the activities. You need to measure the amount of innovation. Are you actually enabling it or not? If the ideas are not flowing, then you're not actually enabling the culture of innovation. So at least some kind of tracking at what's going on with the innovations. But one way to also is to actually somehow measure the happiness of your staff. So what is the feeling in the company? How free they actually feel? How enthusiastic they are, and how open they are, how eager they are to communicate with each other, and so on and so on. And the last part is to actually measure the amount of patents and innovations going to the formal processes and so on. So you need to think about what are the measures here, but you definitely need to measure this part of the transformation as well. And that's about data again. And the fifth part of fifth pillar is the change management. So you have the commitment, you have the funding, you have the skills, you have the innovations. But then if you don't somehow manage all the change that is happening, then there's going to be chaos. Well, there might be chaos anyway, but there's going to be less chaos if you have some kind of change management here. So it's not creating total Big Brother environment, but having some kind of ways to actually see the whole process going on, using simulations as much as possible, learning as fast as possible, and seeing from the data that whatever we do has this kind of an effect or outcomes, and or the happiness of the people, or the amount of innovations, and then see that yes, we are using money, but we are using it wisely and finding our path in the digitalization towards the goals that has been set to us. So those are the 5 pillars that in each of these actually you need to have a huge amount of data, and you will create a huge amount of data. It's a question, are you going to use it or not? And I would suggest that you actually use it. And then when you have actually all these things going on, you can actually think about monetizing the data, even selling to your partners or up and down your data value stream, because your company is not operating alone. You're most likely part of some kind of value chain. And that's the most obvious part to actually, you can sell data up or down in the value chain. That's basically it. So going any deeper would actually be giving you advices on data, how to create data products and how to do the actual monetization, but that's possibly for the next steps.